Hey, everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today we're talking about Earth 2. Earth 2 is the latest and greatest cryptocurrency, real-world, augmented reality, virtual reality, Rust-like game that's come to fruition in the last couple months. That's sort of what's been blowing up my comment section. When I say blowing up, I mean a few of you guys have commented on it. I figured I'd cover it. My dog, if you can hear, that's even getting excited. A little bit of growl there. But yeah, Earth 2 is supposedly the latest and greatest cryptocurrency, real cash economy game that takes place across the whole Earth. The way this works is you can buy a tile in literally any location on Earth. You own that space, and now how it's going to work is when someone comes to Earth 2 and they visit that location, you can do whatever you want with it. So if you want to build a monument to yourself, you can do that. If you want to display a billboard for the latest company, or the latest game, you can do that. If you want to build your own little home there, if you want to own your own little home, you can actually do that in Earth 2. You can go to your address and literally buy that property. You're not going to be seeing me do that in the video because that would be a pretty stupid call for me to make. But yeah, it has a lot of cool potential, and it looks like Rust. A lot of people were saying this is amazing. I'm going to tell you guys why this is a little worrying to me. But yeah, there's a lot of potential here. I like the idea behind it, but overall, I don't like the idea. I don't like the game. I don't like this at all. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So first off, this is all my opinion. I don't know that much about this. I'm not an Earth 2 expert. I am not a cryptocurrency expert. Back in the day, I looked at buying Bitcoin and I decided it was too hard to buy and would never take off. Yes, that's right. I tried to buy Bitcoin when it was worth about $20 a Bitcoin. It's now worth $50,000. So obviously, entertainment purposes only. Don't look into this as some sort of like investment advice, or I'm not telling you what to do with your money. If you want to dump your whole net worth into this game, go for it. If you want to dump nothing into this game, go for it. I just want to talk about this and sort of have a good time with you guys, and let's get into it. So this is Earth 2. This is the website. And the reason I'm not playing the game is because the game doesn't exist yet, okay? If you go and you want to play Earth 2, you can't do it at this point. The only thing you can really do about this game is buy tiles and sort of speculatively invest, and I say that with quotations, in this game. So first off, before we get into that, what I want to do is go over this sort of Earth 2 inception. So this game came about in 2020. This is the inception trailer. Let's go ahead and watch it just so you guys get an idea of what we're looking at here. Now, I don't know if I can do this in full screen. I might lose the recording, so I'm not going to do that. But let's go. The beginning, 2020 AD. Cool graphics here. We've got a nice little flag flying out in space. I might get copyright claim for this, so I'm going to mute the music. A new world with endless possibilities. Not only is Elon Musk going to Mars, we are going to Earth 2, which is literally an overlay of Earth. Real-time, market-driven values. You can buy any location. You can buy the Taj Mahal. You can own Sydney Opera House. You can own the Statue of Liberty, and you can claim it for your country. Imagine if you're Kim Jong-un, you could literally claim Times Square for North Korea. Or you can claim a cedar tree. See, accessible from home or wherever you are. Look at that. You can use your cell phone to do it. In phase one, the most exciting part is when you can buy and sell land. So literally, that's it. So phase one is basically what we're at now. And what this means is you can literally go here and you can buy land. Who are you buying it from, you ask? You're buying it from the developers. So what they've done is they've enabled an overlay of sort of the whole Earth. So if you scroll out here, you can see the whole Earth, right? And it's broken up by country. So this is one of the things I sort of asked. I went on the Reddit. I did a little bit of preliminary research because people get mad when I don't. And I asked, what's going on here? So I'm going to show you what I mean. Here we go. This is an empty place in the middle of nowhere. If you live here, I'm sorry, you live in the middle of nowhere. This is a cornfield. I mean, corn's great. I love corn, but, you know, it's not the most exciting place. How many people are going to visit this in the game or in the real world, right? This probably gets one farmer going through, maybe his sons and daughters. Maybe there's a dog or two that goes through, but like, there's nothing out here. From a billboard perspective, if I went to an advertisement agency and said, I've got a billboard right here, how much would you pay me for it? They'd say, we're advertising to one farmer. We can send a piece of mail to him for 10 cents. Like, that billboard is useless. How much would it cost in Earth 2 because this threw me off here, right? So this is it. I'm logged into my account. I don't think you can see I'm Serial Overdrive. Who cares? I'm not going to actually, we'll go over that later. But this is worth E48.14. Now, if I go to details, I go over to buy now. That's the price. They want 48.14 USD for one tile. This is crazy talk, right? Like thousands of dollars for a farm field in the middle of nowhere. In some cases, there are places in the United States that you could literally settle for free. Okay, you could settle them for free. The US would give you that land and say, good luck living here because it is unlivable. Earth 2 is going to charge you $47 a tile, a 10 by 10 meter tile. Okay, like that's crazy. I think that's crazy. I think that's way too much. Now, I did ask about why this is happening, and I'll go into that later. But let's say you want to go, here you go. Let's say you want to go to New York City, okay? New York City, like this place is probably going to be sold out. Like this is going to be, here you go. Like you can see people bought this, right? Like someone claimed New York City for South Korea, okay? Here you look, someone claimed this. I don't even know what country that is. Turkey, you've got right here. Someone claimed this. So you can claim all these sorts of areas. And here you could actually sort of, I can see the value here. So the idea behind it is the locations that are going to be visited more are worth more, right? So if you know a lot of people are going to be going to this location, it makes sense to own that location, right? Like in virtual reality, maybe someone's visiting New York City, they're traveling around, and let's say you're a business owner, okay? Let's say Earth 2 takes off. Let's say a lot of people like Earth 2, you're a business owner, you've got some sort of business, let's say in this tower right here. You can own, it's too far from my starting point, let's clear this section. You can own this right here. You go to details. Again, it costs $96.28. Maybe I'm getting this wrong, but this is what everybody told me online. They told me I was getting it right because I literally went onto the Reddit and asked a question. I'm like, why is everything so much? And they're like, well, it's so much because I'll go into that later. But you could own any of these locations. Obviously, this is just a Google satellite image. You can see a plane right here. Like you can, I think you can, in theory, yeah. Someone bought the plane because they're a complete idiot. You can own anything, right? Like people just pick things and they buy it. They don't realize that the satellite image is going to update at some point and this plane's not going to be here. And this dude who claimed the plane for France is going to be owning a little bit of the New York City Bay, which I could buy it too right next to him. Who cares? So people paid a lot of money for this, right? And at the time, land originally came out as 10 cents for a piece of land. And you can own any place. So you can own a place right next to your business. You can put up your sort of virtual reality billboard. In New York City, it's going to cost less than a real life billboard. And you can say, hey, go to my shop. It's got the best subs. It's right next door. Maybe someone watching this game, they pull out their cell phone. You can't see it, but I've got my cell phone. They look at it. They see your billboard and they're like, hey, Serial Overdrive subs, or maybe it's Serial Overdrive's cereal shop, right? I've got a cereal shop in New York City. I want to advertise it. Second floor of a building, not getting much foot traffic. I put out that billboard. They have their virtual reality device out. They flip over. They're in the middle of Times Square or something or wherever it is. They see my advertisement and they say, okay, second floor right behind me. They go behind me. They go up to the floor. It works. In augmented reality, that's cool. Or in virtual reality, right? A lot of people are going to visit this. It's a lot of like foot traffic for me. And these populated areas make sense. Now, the way the devs did this was very lazy, in my opinion. What they did is they split the world up by country. So the reason that in the middle of nowhere in the USA, a tile costs so much is because by country, it's just how much tiles have sold for in a country, right? So like how many tiles have sold in a country dictates how much the next tile is going to cost. So they don't care the fact that this tile is literally in the middle of nowhere. They're still saying it's the same as a tile in New York City, which to me makes no sense and it's very lazy. What they did here is this is just a Google Maps overlay, which I think, again, very lazy. And you can just buy tiles on this overlay. So let's say you want to go to Saudi Arabia. Okay, I don't know if people bought land in Saudi Arabia, but let's see what the prices are here. Let's clear this again. Again, this UI is a little clunky too. So let's say you want to buy a place in Saudi Arabia. No one's really bought that. So now it's 10 cents per tile or 10.01. So this is what tiles originally cost. They cost us about 10 cents. And the thing is, because there's this land grab going on and people think that this could be worth something someday, they're buying up tiles in popular locations. So if you go to a location that's popular, people buy that. If you go to a location that's not so popular, then people aren't quite buying those tiles. And now you can get your tiles cheap. So if you want to buy something in India, Saudi Arabia, we saw was 10 cents a tile. India, what is it running here? It's running about $3 a tile. You saw the US was 40. An interesting thing though, let's go to like a small European country, because I think that's going to be telling. Because if the tiles are broken up by how many tiles exist, the US should be much less than it currently is. So the way it should have been done, I think, is you take the amount of tiles in a country, you divide that by the amount of sold tiles, and now you've got the tile price. The way it was actually done is they say after X number of tiles have sold, the price goes up. So what this means is bigger countries are going to have higher tile prices just because of sort of how that works, right? So even somewhere like Russia, I'm guessing is going to be fairly high. I think I'm in Russia right now. Let's clear the selection again. Let's pick that. Yeah, see, Russia, again, like $3, same as India. Higher than it should be for the middle of the Siberian Peninsula or whatever, right? So let's go into like a European country. I'm going to try and pick... I don't know my geography enough to actually know this. Can we do a map here? Is that going to break it out by country? Oh, there we go. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go to a smaller European country like the Netherlands. Now, my theory is if they broke it up the way I think, if we go into the Netherlands, a tile is going to be... Yeah, it's still quite a bit, actually. It's $5. So my thought is they broke it up by tiles. Maybe that's not true. Maybe they did break it up the way I said. But either way, it's quite expensive to buy tiles in most places. Like, you can't even buy your home in real life because the land is probably going to be hundreds to thousands of dollars to do. So here you go. Let's check out Luxembourg. So yeah, you can see Luxembourg's cheaper because it's a smaller place, okay? Which I find that very weird. Like, the smaller the place is, the less the tiles are going to cost as a country. So basically the way it works is, since it's not broken up, Europe, I guess, probably has the same amount of sales as the US, but because it's broken up by more countries, now the way it's going to work is that Europe is actually cheaper. And the US is more. I've got to refresh this because unfortunately it crashed on me. But basically it's just a Google Maps. They've overlaid it. They've taken probably this map view. They've broken it down by country. This is all something that's pretty easy to do from a programming standpoint. And then they're just selling tiles on this sort of overlaid map for money. There's a marketplace. There are people buying and selling. There are people that are hoping that these are going to be worth something. One thing to keep in mind with this is it is actually not a cryptocurrency. A lot of people have been selling this like it's a cryptocurrency, and it's not. These all take place on a centralized server. If the people making this game disappear, if whoever made this Earth 2 website disappear, your tiles are literally worthless. There's no cryptocurrency backing this, right? The idea behind Bitcoin is if one guy in Bitcoin, like let's say some guy with a lot of Bitcoin decides, screw it, I'm done, and stops mining Bitcoin, it keeps going. There's no way that one person could take over Bitcoin. Now, early on, there were some things that went on that it was possible, but essentially, when these things get big enough and you've got enough people hosting it, there's no way that can happen. Now, the problem you've got with this sort of idea that they've created here is it's one company running it. If whoever owns Earth2.io, they didn't even buy .com, they just bought .io, whatever. If that goes, you lose all your money. Your investment or your supposed investment is worthless. Now, here's what I wanted to do. Vatican City. Let's see how bought out this area is because I'm very interested in this, right? Okay, so you can see Vatican City is completely bought out. So the value of this land should be like priceless. It should be crazy valuable. But look at this. How much are they selling at? Price per tile, 5.86. So Vatican City, okay? And I think this is true. Vatican City, which is completely sold out, completely bought out. The value of land at Vatican City is this right? Let me check this. This is the value of a tile, I think, in Italy. Or I think this is Italy. Right? I think that's how it's broken up, right? Value of a land in Italy I'm having some bugs here. All right, so it says 152 price per tile is 5.86. I think this is someone selling the tile. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't really make it clear. Like, you just got these random flags here. It's not the most sort of ideal UI in my opinion. But you can see here, like, someone claimed this area of the Vatican. I think this is what they paid for it. I'm not sure. Like, this one paid 13. You can see the price here is not as high as the price in the US, even though the US has way more sort of unsold tiles. Okay, like the Vatican City, that farm field that I went to has less tiles sold than the Vatican City does. And the price per land in the Vatican City was ridiculously low. That's because I think, so the way it was explained online when I asked in the forums is the devs wanted land to be evenly distributed. So what they did is they broke the price down by country. Once a country sold so much property or so much land tiles, then the prices keep going up and you've got to keep paying the devs more for that land. So now basically what they're doing is if you are in a bigger country, it's going to cost way more to get that final piece of land. Like if all the land sold out in the US, I'd imagine the last couple pieces would be going for millions of dollars. And one of the things too, one of the big errors supposedly, when the devs created this game, they thought that there were 50 billion tiles, okay? And they were selling it at 10 cents a tile. So they were looking for $5 billion. for this whole thing. If you wanted to buy every tile, you pay $5 billion, which is a crazy amount. But they didn't calculate it right. The actual number of tiles is 1 trillion. So they're looking, instead of the original 5 billion for the whole map that they were looking for, if they all sold to 10 cents, which they've kept raising the price. So that's not even what they're doing, okay? If you look at the actual price, they're saying at 10 cents a tile, they value this at $100 billion. When you go to the US and they're charging $47 a tile, that is $47 trillion if every tile was ranked there. And remember, as land keeps selling, it gets more and more valuable, supposedly just because they keep raising the value on you. So in my opinion, what I think happened is they put a bunch of tiles over a Google satellite image, and they're selling them for money, and people are paying insane prices for it. And now people are saying it's worth something because when you go to the marketplace, it looks like your land's actually worth more, when in reality, I don't think it is. For instance, here you can see someone selling $4,300 for a place in Hong Kong. Like, the valuations that I'm seeing for this are literally, in my opinion, insane. There's nothing that exists. You can't put anything on this land yet, and people are speculating on it. It exists in one server only. It does not exist in a cryptocurrency state, but they're playing like it's a cryptocurrency. And it's like, I don't understand. No, my dog's going crazy again. I don't understand it, okay? Like, people are putting down flags and all sorts of stuff like this, and it's an insane valuation that they're giving for things that makes no sense to me. I can understand why someone would pay more for Vatican City, but I can't understand why the Vatican City is valued at less than a piece of farmland in the US. And sure, you are separating users, but there's much better algorithms that they could have used. What they could have done is they could have taken a grid, calculated the price of that grid based on how far away everything is, like how far away like land that's sold from it is. So if the grid is, let's say you take a grid, 10 squares around it, you see if land sold. However much of that land has sold, that influences the price of a piece in that grid. And the idea here would be that you want people to build all over the world rather than just focusing in one central location, which I don't even think it's wrong to focus in one central location. But if the devs wanted to do that, they could have done that. Now, this would have cost more from server costs, but if you look at how much they're bringing in, they should be perfectly okay with that. And if you limit the amount of locations that you look around it, that could also help, right? So for instance, this tile, nothing around it sold, so it's 10 cents, right? And you can do, even if you do like 10 by 10, that takes a little bit of calculating to do, but not that much from a computer standpoint, and wouldn't be that taxing on the servers. When they do it by land, by country, that just artificially inflates prices and means that the devs or whoever's developing Earth 2.0 can make more money. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this is a cash grab or anything like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it seems like prices are just artificially way too high. You can see the founders right here. There's some people behind it. It seems like somewhat decent. It doesn't seem like there's anything like standing out about them. They all seem like normal sort of people. And it seems like they are trying to create something. But in my opinion, I think they've misvalued this by quite a bit. I think that the land is valued way too high, partially because of a cryptocurrency boom, and everyone's hoping this is going to be the next thing. You can see all these tiles are for sale. A lot of people have been complaining that it takes them forever to pull money out. It takes them forever to get anything out of this game, right? Like, they own these areas, they're saying they're super valuable, but then they put them up for sale and nobody's buying. Or if someone buys, it takes them too long to withdraw their money. Because again, if you look at this money, this isn't like typical cryptocurrency. This is literally, oh, there's my Gmail. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, go figure, this has been listed forever. Anyways, it looks like literally 1 E is 1 USD. This is the same thing that a game like Entropia Universe does, except again, like they're playing off like it's a cryptocurrency, but it's all central, right? Like, this balance is stored centrally, from what I can understand. It's not stored via a cryptocurrency. Same with the tiles. These tiles, they're not stored anywhere. They're stored via a cryptocurrency. They're not stored via cryptocurrency. They're stored locally, centrally. If the server shuts down, this disappears. This value right here disappears. This value right here disappears. You've got nothing. So if you pay $4,300 for this and then nothing ever happens, worthless. You lost all your money. You can't even have like a few virtual coins that you can say, wow, these are mine. No, it's all gone. It's all gone. If the devs decide to wipe the server tomorrow, all that value's lost. Everything's gone, okay? And you look at leaderboards and all this, it just seems insane that players are supposedly sitting on hundreds of thousands of USD in land and they're okay with that. They're okay with storing this value in servers. These devs have probably made millions of dollars, and the price of land keeps going up. They really should just be selling it at 10 cents a tile, because in all honesty, if what I read is right and there's a trillion tiles, at 10 cents a tile, they're making $100 billion. That's crazy. Even if they sold 1% of that, they'd be making $1 billion. If they sold 0.1% of that, $100 million. If they sold 0.01% of the land, $10 million. And for a dev team that is the size that I'm looking at, $10 million is quite a significant amount. Not to mention that I'm sure the team would own some of the land. Like, they could own New York City or Times Square and sort of sell those off or do whatever they want with it. But yeah, how many people are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 people, right? So if they sold 0.01% of the land, they make $10 million, assuming they just keep this price the same. Since it's moving up, they'd make exponentially more. But they make $10 million. That's $1 million per person. That is crazy. And now here's what I want to do. This is how I want to wrap this up. I want to show you guys their latest release. It has everybody going nuts. And when you're watching this, pull up a Rust video and put it right next to it, because I want to see what you guys think. So this is their terrain engine. Okay, it looks amazing. It looks really spectacular. It looks really cool. I think I think it took a little bit to load, so it wasn't in 4K or whatever it was initially, but now it is. I mean, that looks amazing. That looks awesome. They increased the draw distance. They're using a really good computer to do this, which people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for land. They should be able to. But if you look, it really looks like Rust to me. It doesn't look like anything too crazy, right? Like, people are trying to sell this as a next generation thing. They're selling this as amazing. But in all honesty, I think I could create this. If you give me $1 million, I could do this demo video for you. 100%. If someone wants to put $1 million in my account, this demo video, we're gonna get it out to you guys in 6 months or less. I'd probably pay someone a $5 to do it, if we're being honest. But look at this. I mean, it looks spectacular. It looks amazing, but this isn't even gameplay footage. They're just flying a camera around, okay? And a lot of this, it looks like Rust. It really does look like sort of a pre-generated terrain. It doesn't look like anything too crazy to do. Granted, now you're looking at the whole world, but is it? It's all just randomly generated terrain. A lot of people thought that something like Times Square, New York City would have the current buildup, so you'd own that literal location. Like, Times Square would look like Times Square, but from what I've read, Times Square is going to look just like this. Maybe not exactly, but it's going to have this sort of terrain there. And I don't even know if any of these terrains actually match the real world. Does a mountain range exist in the location of a mountain range on Earth? From what I've read, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to have biomes. All they're showing us here is a forest. And honestly, for a company that's raised millions of dollars, this is not what I'd expect. People are saying that this is the next great thing. This is the next game to watch for. This is the next real cash economy game that's going to blow people's hearts and minds. And honestly, if before they started selling anything, they showed me this as in-game footage, and they had a demo available to play, and I could buy tiles after that demo, I'd be 100% sold. If I could see myself building something here, if I could see how a billboard would look, if I could see how land would look, and then they sold me this land for 10 cents a tile, I'd love to buy into it. I'd love to create something amazing. And if Phase 2, this is supposedly Phase 2, does come to fruition, and it is what they promise, I will 100% be buying land in Earth 2. The thing is, I don't know if it's going to be what people think it's going to be. I don't know how they're going to allow us to create things. Is it going to be just like Rust, right? Because this is what it looks like to me. It looks like something that's Rust-like, where they'll have a few sets of tiles and you can just build something. But if I can import my own assets, do my own thing, create my own world, I'd love to do that. I'd love to take part in that. It's just right now I'm not seeing it. The people investing in this, they could be people with an eye for the future. They could be building future cities in a virtual world that is going to look like this until you cut down the trees, farm your resources and everything like that. And that's one of the things too, they said. In this game, when you own tiles, you can farm those tiles, earn with those tiles, play with those tiles. It is literally imagined to be a game, which is very cool. It is very ambitious. And if it happens, I'm 100% on board. That's one of the things. You hear me saying negative things, but if this does happen, if this does become a thing, I'd love to see it. Because I'm waiting for something like this to come about. I was hoping that Decentraland was going to be like this, but didn't happen. With Earth 2, it would be amazing if it comes like this. But I think people should stop selling it as a cryptocurrency and sell it more as a game. And I don't know if this is the devs or the people I'm talking to. I don't know who's selling it as a cryptocurrency. But it seems like a lot of people are acting like it's a crypto when it's not. It's more of an interesting game. In all honesty, like this terrain, it looks cool, but it's nothing that you couldn't create with a bunch of pre-bought things and plugins and everything like that. I think this is developed using Unity. I don't even know if Unity could handle the scale or the size of what they're doing, but it's good that they're using a pre-built, sort of pre-scoped out. Here you can actually see the build distances here if you look at how the shadows and stuff are loading in. So that does prove this is sort of real game footage rather than just like mock-ups. That's one of the things I saw people criticizing that's wrong. If you look when they do the upper values and you can see some of the stuff loading in, that sort of goes to show that this isn't like pre-mocked. But yeah, it's an interesting idea, honestly. And it looks cool. I'd love to see what this looks like in real life and see how it matches. Because that's the other thing that remains to be seen, right? If this is Saudi Arabia, like it doesn't fit, right? It doesn't have any bearing on the virtual world. But if they're planning to map the terrain, map the sizes and everything like that, it could be pretty cool. From this, though, if you look, it's all mountains, right? Like as far as the eye can see, it's mountains and forests. Which maybe over here it looks like we've got something different. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm just not sold on it yet. I'm not sold. Yeah, here before Elon. So people are investing, hoping that Elon Musk is going to jump in on this. Here we go. We've got dev stream. So you can see, like, they are talking about it. But in this, they're just going over the video, and they're talking about the video. You guys can watch this on your own, basically. But I don't know. I thought I'd cover it. Overall, I'm still sort of... I'm not sure. I'd love to see this become a thing. Don't get me wrong. I just think that the prices that they're charging for some of these areas are ill thought out. And I don't see how you could ever sell the whole U.S. Even if they lock the price in at $47 a tile. I don't see how that could be a possibility. And I don't like the fact that they basically just overlaid this over Google Maps and are selling tiles. I think that's a bit lazy. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts on Earth 2. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you have questions, comments, if I got anything wrong, and I'm sure I did, let me know down below in the comments what I got wrong. If you guys leave a really detailed comment, I'm probably going to pin it because I want to hear your opinions on this. I'm very interested in this idea. And this is the thing. I like where they're going with this. I just don't like where they currently are. So let's see. Maybe in a couple of months I'll be able to make a video talking about how wrong I was and how I really do love this idea. And maybe I'll buy this location, $200, right? Like, tell you what, if the prices stay the same, this video gets really popular, I'll buy some sort of random land plot and we'll just see how this runs. Okay, if this video gets like, I don't know, trying to think what would be a reasonable amount of views. I don't know, like if this video gets a couple, maybe like 20 or 30,000 views in the next couple weeks, then screw it. I'm gonna buy a piece of land and we'll see what happens with it, and we'll play through it. But we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I look forward to you guys commenting down below because I know some of you are huge proponents of the game. Some of you guys hate the game. I want to hear what you think I got wrong, what you think I got right, and where you think this is going. So thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.